Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. As you can see, I'm about to head into work, but I want to make this episode really quick and share some really cool news. And it's taken me a little bit because of certain reasons I couldn't share it before. But I got to photograph the Vice President of the United States. Forget about politics, forget about all that stuff. It doesn't matter who the Vice President or President is. That's an amazing opportunity. And if you guys ever get that opportunity, absolutely take it. So I just want to break down with you kind of what my challenges were for this mission, what I learned, and what you guys can learn from this as well, and what gear I used. So we'll break all those things down, so stay tuned till the very end. I'll show some of the photos I took and break down a little bit how I set up the shot, the lighting, the camera I used, all that stuff, and what advice I can give to you guys if you ever run into a similar situation like that. So let's get into it. Right, so I'm sure you guys want to talk about gear first. Everybody loves to talk about gear. So as much as I wanted to, I couldn't shoot this on my D5 for security reasons that I'm not going to get into, but I did get my Nikon D3 cleared in time. So I shot on a D3. One of the shots was on a 24-70, the new one, the 2.8 ED. Pretty nice lens by Nikon, pretty clean. I'm not a fan that they made their threads on the front larger size, so now you have to buy new lens caps. That's really frustrating, but let's get past that. For my wide angle close-up shot of the VP and the missile, I used this Nikon 14mm 2.8 ED prime lens. Amazing. I would take this any day over the 14-24. I absolutely love this lens. It's, I would say, about the same weight as the 14-24, but the build quality is just so much better. There's less vignetting around the edge of your frame. There's less chromatic aberration. I wasn't a huge fan of the 14-24. I just felt like it was cheaply made. You drop it once and the lens is completely destroyed. This one, the build quality is a lot better. I'll do a review on it if you guys want to, but that's all I'm going to say about that 14mm. Fantastic lens. I used an SB910 down in the missile silo to light it up. I'm going to get to that in challenges. It was really hard to light up that shiny missile. So what I decided to do is I paired it with my Lastolite softbox. I absolutely love this. This is an amazing little tool. It's a softbox, and yes, I will link to it down below so you guys can see where you can pick it up, and I'm absolutely going to be doing a review on this soon. And I'm probably going to be picking up another one of these because it's amazing. It just softens up your light coming out of your speed light, because these speed lights are so harsh, and especially in a small environment, that softbox is just a fantastic tool. And you can change your diffusion in that a little bit. There's different layers of diffusion in there. So that was the gear I used. Threw it all in a backpack and lugged it down to a missile silo. I had a whole bunch of flashes with me just in case one died. I was going in there prepared. I had multiple memory cards, multiple batteries, multiple flashes, because this wasn't a shoot that I was going to screw up. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the challenges that I faced in the shoot. I was down with the Vice President and Secret Service, and I was the only photographer allowed down there. The press, his press corps, news, nobody else was down there. It was just me, the Vice President, some Secret Service, and a giant missile that is absolutely huge and shiny and difficult to shoot. You know how difficult it is to shoot shiny things and flash, but you need flash because a missile facility is not meant to be photographed. It's meant to launch a missile. So the lighting down there, absolutely terrible. That's all I'm kind of going to get into with that. It's a big circular facility, so my option was either direct flash or bounce flash, and I chose to bounce flash because everything down there is kind of like a dingy white color. All those facilities are really old, and they're nasty white yellow from just being used and old and left down there since the 1950s or 1960s. So I said, I guess I'm going to have to bounce my flash and just color correct for some of the funny colors that bouncing off these dingy white walls is going to give me. I also was challenged by shooting, like I said, this shiny metallic missile, and also getting proper skin tones and exposing properly and not getting these giant hot spots. So what I had to do is I had to bounce my flash all the way around the outside of this launch facility and have it come all the way back around the missile, and that let me get a little bit of bounce from the right hand side, and it wrapped all that light around the circle, and I also lit up the back of the missile. I had a little bit of backlight on the vice president, and it all ended up just working out. And I shoved my softbox. I used a sync cord between my camera and my SB910 because I didn't want to have an on-camera flash. I wanted to have that sync cord and shoot with one hand, and I'll usually shoot with my right hand and throw my other hand underneath, and I can use that as a stabilizer. So I can use this arm as a stabilizer, shoot, and I have this spare hand free to use my 910 on a sync cord that'll go in my hot shoe, and that way I can position my flash, I can have it bounce back behind me. In this case, I took my flash around the corner inside the actual launch tube and to the side of the missile, so I wasn't shooting the missile directly with flash because that's going to leave a bunch of hot spots on metal, as you know. And I got that flash to wrap all the way around. So those were my big challenges, just shooting in a tight, cramped space that was very, very poorly lit, and shooting something that I had to get done really quick, and I had to get it done the first time. Practice, practice, practice. Train like you're gonna fight. Practice like you're gonna have a big shoot someday. Know your settings, know your gear, know how to fix things when they go wrong, and those were my big challenges. Well, last but not least, I want to talk about some of the things I learned and kind of what was on my mind during the shoot. I learned that you always have to be prepared for the unexpected. The best thing that you can do is be prepared and hope for the best, but you always have to plan for the worst. Just in case my camera would have died, I had a spare body with me. In case my flash died, I had 3 or 4 spare flashes. I had a bunch of spare AA batteries, spare batteries for my camera, and spare lenses, just in case anything happened, because you never know, and especially with an extremely high profile shoot, you never know. This one I knew for a fact that was going to be super important, but even those shoots that you know, you go out and you're maybe doing some street photography, maybe you just go for a photo walk. Bring all your lenses with you. I knew for a fact that I was not going to need my 70-200 lens, but it was worth the wait to carry it with me and to have it with me just in case. I knew I couldn't use it down, even for close-ups, it's too tight down in a launch facility, but maybe upstairs when I was on the ground level, maybe photograph some helicopters that were flying security missions at the time. But one of the big lessons that I got away from this was it doesn't matter how prepared you are, there's always going to be little things that pop up that you didn't plan for and you weren't ready for, that you're just going to have to work with. You're going to have to roll with the punches and just kind of take some punches and, you know, punch back with all the skills and all the training that you've acquired, and everything that you know, use that to your advantage. You guys are either hobbyists or you're pros doing this. Train like you're gonna fight is the one thing that I can say I took away with this. I had diagrams, I had everything, but none of that matters when something pops up that you didn't expect. I didn't expect to have the governor of North Dakota down there. I didn't expect to have senators. The Secretary of the Air Force was down in this cramped little facility, and I'm carrying all my gear and all my extra gear, and I'm in a tiny little facility with this big backpack trying to get my shots around a whole bunch of other people in this tiny little compact facility. So always plan, and make sure you have backup plans, your A plan, your B plan, your C plan, and make sure you know how to be flexible. That's a huge thing in photography, is be flexible. So I think that's really all I have to share from this shoot. It was an awesome opportunity. If you guys have any more questions, I'll answer what I can down below in the comments. Make sure you like this video, share, and don't forget, for more stuff like this and more videos like this, make sure you guys are subscribing down below, and we'll kick off this new year right and get out there and go shoot.